Let's bring in former Counsel of Economic Advisors Acting Chair Tom Philipson. Tom, DOGE going after Medicare, Medicaid, even Social Security, but is that enough to fix these deeply broken programs?
Well, I think that this is misguided discussion saying DOGE is bypassing Congress. Essentially, what they're doing is, last time I checked, the executive branch is supposed to execute the laws and statutes of Congress. There's no statute that ever says we shall spend on non-eligibles, essentially. So they're weeding out the non-eligible spending, including on criminals and people not eligible for the program, essentially. They're actually executing the statute as opposed to bypassing the statute. What is bypassing the statute in the past is about $1 trillion, roughly, of Medicaid payments the last 10 years have gone to improper payments, essentially. That's not in the statute, and that's what Democrats have been pushing on the state level, just handing out Medicaid to ineligibles. Not in the statute, bypassing Congress, essentially. But I don't think the DOGE is going to be enough to hit our spending hard. I think Medicare means testing is going to be the way to go. I think that's going to happen sooner or later in the future. Might not happen this year, might not happen the next 5 years, but sooner or later, the rich should not be tied. They pay all the taxes of the government. They're essentially paying themselves to be locked into a bad health plan in Medicare. If we cut Medicare, that will make all seniors better off, particularly the rich, but also the poor, because Medicare get more focused on them.
We've got a polluted system. And you know this. You've got overpayments, you've got billing for higher rates and repayment rates to make up for bad repayment. You've got the means testing part. I think there is an opportunity, because if we're going to bring back those principles of workfare, of means testing, all these, and they're not really entitlements. You're not entitled to it, but these entitlement programs, go hard at it now. And the executive, to your point, does have this. I think they do it now.
Yeah, I think the recommendation should be wider than ruling out ineligible expenses, meaning we should cut eligibility for this program. There's no
life
reason
expectancy rates, adjustments, and all of this.
Yeah, but also the rich should not be in this program by forcing them, mandating a population to be in a badly run monopoly. Look at FTC. Would they like that outcome? I don't think so.
Right. So I read that you wrote a piece about advocacy economics, which you wrote right after that President Trump won the second election. And it's just about how economists, and they're supposed to be independent thinkers, their analysis is completely clouded by their politics. And you see it every day, all day long right now, particularly with tariffs, that the sky is falling. The reason the market sold off is because all the tariff talk. My butt. What do you say? How does this work out in terms of finally getting a fair, level trading field for the United States?
There is some tariff hysteria, but obviously in the left-leaning media that's feeding into the business media and also markets, I would say. But if you take a more sober look, let's walk through some of the steps. China is a clear differential. We were a military adversary. I think it's a different issue, because I have a trade deficit with my grocery store. I only buy from them. I don't sell anything to them. That's a good thing. But if my grocery store uses my money to go after it and hire a hitman to go after me, I'm not necessarily interested in buying from that store. Right. And that's the China case, right? So that's a different category. But the military allies we have, the geopolitical allies we have, they're not economic allies, because they're treating us a lot worse than we're treating them, essentially. And if you go to Mexico, he's actually winning in Mexico. He's getting a lot of stuff for no tariffs right now in Mexico. Canada is also exaggerated, I think. Canada is not going so well, I think. But Canada is exaggerated. If you look at the 30 billion that are tariffing, that's 1/10 of 1% of our GDP. It's a little overblown that this is going to be recessionary or something like that.
Right. It was great to see you, but the EU walked away from an opportunity, in 2019? So,
correct. Yeah.
Right.
They want zero tariffs.
They want to tariff their precious little cars and vino, glug glug.
And their managed economies, which they control and we don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you do reciprocity and we get 0-0, then, Milton Friedman would have been proud of Trump.
Great to see you, Tom Philipson. Thank you.